You had guys like debating how tall you were. And this is something that's recently happened to me, where guys are just like in the chat. It is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen, why they're so obsessed with this idea. Because you consider it's like women who are obsessed, but like when you're a content creator, I have guys telling me that I'm 5'6". Like I literally have a video of me standing next to Dwight Freeney, and he's 6'1" and I'm 6'1", and we're both was the same height. And these guys will not accept it. They're like, no, dude, you're 5'4", you're 5'6". It's one of the craziest things. And I'm just wondering, like, where do you think this comes from with these men being so obsessed with your height?
Yeah, if it comes to one question that I consistently gotten over the past 10 years is how tall are you? How tall are you? And then when I do state my height, half the guys say I'm lying. So I had never understood that either, man. Like I don't know the obsession with another man's height. Maybe because they're shorter, they want you to be either their height or like shorter than them
Yeah.
so that they feel better than you. Is the only way I could possibly explain that. But I'm still trying to figure that out myself, man. Um, I made a video recently and I was like clearing the air. Flat foot, I am 5'10" and a half. And
Yeah.
that's me being purely honest. With shoes on, everyday height, I'm about 5'11" to 6 foot, depending on
Yeah.
who you ask. And people just still don't want to believe that. And I'm not sure why.
Yeah, it is one of the weird, like, read my ID if you want. You can look at my military records. I'm 6'1", but they just will not believe it. Now, here's the thing. I actually like the fact that they think I'm shorter because it helps my content. It actually like draws more people in there. So this is actually the first time I've even publicly addressed it. But like I only said how tall I was one time on whatever podcast, and I didn't say it to brag. I said it because I kind of feel for short guys. One of the things I said was when women have a necessity for men to be tall, that adaptation doesn't make sense anymore because some of the baddest men in the world, most Navy SEALs are under 6 feet tall. Some of the best boxers in the world, MMA fighters are under 6 feet tall. But men have this attribution where we don't want women who are either overweight or have a high body count. That still makes sense from an evolutionary standpoint. That's still the health of my child and the likelihood of you cheating on me. Those still make sense. But a man being like, if you dating a man who's 5'9", he can carry a Glock or learn jujitsu. Like his ability to protect you just because he's taller, that's not a thing anymore. That adaptation is a mismatch. So that was the thing I said. And I said, well, I'm saying this as a guy who's 6'1". And they were like, no, that's not true. You can't be. And I was just like, why do you care so much? And the other thing is I have no problem with people believing I'm shorter. I've just never understood why people obsess with these guys. There's guys out there that are like, oh yeah, you were never in the military or you lied about your service. And I was like, dude, like that's crazy that like you would be obsessed with another man that way and like a heterosexual being that obsessed with another man. But it's just one of these crazy things that I've seen that's happened recently, once I got to a certain point on YouTube.
Yeah, it's very similar in the fitness space too, with the accusation of enhancements in
Yeah.
steroids, like actual like testosterone injecting. Back when I was really popular in that space, it was like 2017, 2018, as I was on the rise, like every day, accusations of steroid use, and it was kind of crazy. I had to make a whole video like addressing it, but yeah, in every vertical niche, there's going to be somebody talking crap and trying to disqualify
Yeah.
whatever you for yourself or whatever value you have or even measurement.
Yeah.
Weird.
I do want to go back to the whole dating app concept because you ranked them. You said Tinder was the least effective, then Bumble, more effective because women have to message you first, and that Hinge was better than the other two. Can you go over that? Like why is there a difference? And do you know anything about Raya?
Yeah. So addressing the Hinge, Tinder, Bumble first,
Yeah.
I've noticed that different dating apps have different quality of women on there. And in my experience, Tinder tends to be like the worst quality. You can still find like attractive girls on Tinder, especially depending on the city that you're in. In Miami, there are actually like quite a few attractive women on Tinder. They could have been sugar babies, of course, who knows? But, versus Bumble, there might be more attractive women and you might have a higher probability because women have to message you first. But Hinge is like, they've really done well with their marketing in terms of positioning themselves as not a Tinder. And for that reason, women who wouldn't have used dating apps otherwise now will get on Hinge and potentially meet a guy that way. And also Hinge has a really what they call based algorithm, which means that they're going to qualify and assess your attractiveness Elo score or whatever, and then they're only going to pair you and show you people who match that or have a similar algorithmic score to yourself. So if you're unattractive, if you have a low match to view ratio or percentage, they're going to pair you with women who have nearly the same or unattractive women for a big degree.
Mm.
And I know this to be true because I've seen it in action, but also I was with a friend of mine in a certain area, and I'm like, yo, Hinge, look at all these attractive women. But keep in mind, I showcase
Mhm.
multiple attractive areas of myself. But my friend, he was kind of overweight at the time. He didn't have great pictures, and all the girls on his feed were totally different. And that was very interesting to me. And then since that has confirmed my belief in that. And I have used Raya. I got accepted to it probably like 7 months ago. It's a very interesting app. It's obviously a little bit more status driven. I really didn't like it a whole lot, so I didn't use it. But it could be a way to network and collaborate and meet more higher status women who definitely want to be on Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge.
Yeah, beautiful. And then you also mentioned you go because we talked about this dating app to Instagram and then the phone number. Why?
Yeah.
Why do you choose that route?
I choose that route because if you can position your Instagram in an attractive way, showing points of leverage, showcasing a sign of high status, high value, multiple pictures in different contexts, having a good follower to following ratio, attractive profile picture, etc., you can actually build upon that attraction to where it's higher than where she met you on the dating app, and also you're adding a bit more context to yourself to add social proof, and also it will subconsciously build more comfort. So I've noticed that whenever you go from dating app to phone number, of course you can still get dates that way, and I definitely have too, but I just find it to be more probable and less of a flake rate and higher attraction whenever I go through Instagram
Because
first.
she's thinking about you when you're not talking to her. She's thinking about you. The Instagram's doing the work when you guys aren't communicating.
Yeah, and out of sight, out of mind.
Mm-hmm.
So if I schedule a date for Sunday and we're talking on Thursday or Wednesday, she's seeing the stories that I'm posting. She's seeing the pictures. She's probably scrolled down my whole entire feed. She's seeing who's liked. She's seeing who I followed, and so all these things just make me more of an attractive person. And so for that reason, I try to leverage Instagram as much as possible.